Close your eyes for a second and imagine a cold night in London. A little boy walks down the wet streets, barefoot and hungry. He looks at the bakery window where warm bread sits behind the glass, but he has no money, no family, and no home. Still, deep inside his heart, he whispers to himself, "Someday, the world will know my name." That boy's name was Charlie Chaplin, and his dream was bigger than his pain. He would go from a homeless child to one of the most loved legends in cinema history, without ever saying a single word. This is not just a story about movies, it's about hope, courage, and the power of laughter. Let's learn English through his amazing journey, the story of Charlie Chaplin, the homeless boy who became a legend. Charlie Chaplin was born on April 16, 1889, in London, England. His parents were stage performers. His mother, Hannah, was a singer, and his father, Charles Sr., was an entertainer too. But life was not a fairy tale for little Charlie. When he was just a small boy, his father left the family. His mother became very ill and could no longer work. There were days when Charlie had nothing to eat but water. Sometimes he and his brother Sidney slept on park benches under the open sky. They spent time in workhouses, dark, crowded places for poor families. Little Charlie saw sadness everywhere, hunger, cold, and loneliness. But he also saw something else. People still smiling. Even when life hurt, they tried to laugh. And in those moments, Charlie learned that laughter was the best way to survive pain. Charlie loved to perform. Even when life was difficult, he used to mimic people on the streets. The drunk men, the policemen, the ladies with umbrellas. His funny faces made others forget their sadness for a moment. At the age of 5, something amazing happened. His mother was singing on stage one night when her voice cracked. The audience started to shout angrily. Little Charlie, trying to protect his mother, ran onto the stage and started to sing and dance. To everyone's surprise, the crowd laughed and clapped. That night, a little star was born. From that moment, Charlie knew what he wanted. He wanted to make people smile. Life was still tough, but Charlie kept chasing his dream. At 9 years old, he joined a children's dance group called the 8 Lancaster Lads. They performed in music halls across England. Charlie had energy, style, and charm. Audiences loved him. As he grew older, he started performing in small theater shows. He didn't have fancy clothes or shoes, but he had something much more powerful: confidence and imagination. Soon, he joined a comedy group run by a famous man named Fred Karno. Fred saw Charlie's natural timing and emotion and said, "This boy will make the world laugh someday." In 1913, the Karno Group went on tour to the United States. America was the land of dreams, and Charlie felt both nervous and excited. During one of his performances, a film producer saw his amazing talent and offered him a job at Keystone Studios in Hollywood. At first, Charlie was confused. Silent films were new to him. There was no sound, no dialogue, just movement and expression. But soon he realized something. If people can see my emotions, they don't need to hear my words. And so began the most iconic chapter of his life. One day, while preparing for a film, Charlie picked up a few funny items: a small hat, a tight jacket, baggy trousers, big shoes, a cane, and a tiny mustache. He looked in the mirror and saw someone both funny and sad. Someone poor but proud, foolish but kind. That was the moment the little tramp was born. This character became a symbol for millions of people who were struggling in life. The tramp made people laugh while showing them the truth that even when you have nothing, you can still walk with dignity. Charlie's performance was full of heart. He would slip on a banana peel, fall down, get up again, and smile. Audiences from London to Tokyo, from Paris to New York, couldn't stop watching him. He wasn't just an actor anymore. He was hope on 2 feet.
In the next few years, Charlie Chaplin became the biggest star in the world. He didn't just act, he wrote, directed, and even composed music for his films. He believed that art should come from the heart, not from money or fame. His first masterpiece, The Kid, 1921, told the story of a poor man caring for an orphan boy. It was funny, touching, and deeply emotional, just like Charlie's own childhood. The world cried and laughed together. Then came The Gold Rush, 1925, City Lights, 1931, and Modern Times, 1936. Each film carried powerful messages about poverty, kindness, and humanity. Through silent comedy, Charlie spoke louder than anyone else. He proved that you don't need words to move hearts. What made Charlie different was his message. He didn't only want to entertain, he wanted to make people feel. In The Great Dictator, 1940, he played 2 roles, a poor Jewish barber and a cruel dictator. In the final scene, his speech about peace and humanity became one of the greatest messages in film history. He said, "You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts." It was a call for kindness, for a world without hate. Even though it was a movie, it touched millions of real lives. But even legends face storms. In the 1940s and 50s, Charlie faced political accusations and controversies. Some people thought his ideas were dangerous, and he was forced to leave America. He moved to Switzerland with his family, far from the studios that once celebrated him. Many thought his career was over. But Charlie never lost his spirit. He said, "Life is still worthwhile if you just smile." And that's what he kept doing, smiling, writing, creating, believing. Charlie Chaplin passed away in 1977, but his magic never died. Even today, more than a century later, children and adults still watch his films and laugh. His silent face still speaks the loudest message. Kindness, courage, and laughter can change the world. His journey from a homeless child to a global icon reminds us that success is not about where you start, it's about how you keep moving forward. He once said, "Nothing is permanent in this wicked world, not even our troubles." That's why his smile still feels alive, his walk still feels familiar, and his story still feels real. Number 1, pain can be your power. Charlie turned his sadness into laughter. He didn't hide his pain, he shaped it into art. Number 2, dreams don't need money. He had nothing, no home, no education, yet he became the highest paid artist of his time. Number 3, kindness never goes out of style. Even when the world mocked him, he chose love over anger. Number 4, laughter is universal. His comedy worked in every country, every language. It showed that happiness doesn't need translation. So if you ever feel lost, hopeless, or invisible, remember the boy with torn shoes walking on the cold streets of London. He didn't have anyone to guide him, but he believed in one thing: himself. Charlie Chaplin's story teaches us that your past doesn't define you. Your courage does. You can rise from nothing. You can turn your pain into purpose. You can make the world smile in your own way. And maybe one day,
someone will tell your story, the dreamer who became a legend. Thank you for joining me in this emotional journey, the life of Charlie Chaplin, the homeless boy who became a legend. If this story touched your heart or helped you learn something new, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs inspiration today. Because stories like these are not just history, they are mirrors of hope. And remember, keep smiling, keep dreaming, and never stop believing in yourself.